Mike, this is what Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson shows up, everybody makes money, Jake Paul is. I don't have to tell you guys, you guys know, Mike Tyson is the A++++ side of that thing.
Dana White just shut down Jake Paul faster than one of Jake's awkward YouTube pranks. And it's all because of that blatantly scripted fight with Mike Tyson. From the start, Dana called it like he saw it, saying there's no way Tyson would ever need to step into the ring with Jake.
And he was right.
The Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight.
Interesting.
Script.
How so? What do you mean by
It's just
script?
weird. It just...
Let's be honest. Tyson doesn't need the money, the drama, or the risk of a busted smile fighting someone who probably Googles out a box before every match. But Jake insisted, and now the truth is out.
Jake needs these guys. Jake needs Tyson and needs all these other people because everybody's going to tune in to hope that Mike Tyson knocks him out.
Right.
They're not tuning in because they think Jake Paul's a great fighter and they want to see him.
Dana just spilled major tea about what really went on behind the scenes. And no shocker here, it turns out the whole thing was as staged as one of Jake's TikTok apology videos. But before we dive into the juicy details of Jake's antics, let's rewind to what Dana had to say about this mess from the very beginning.
Mike Tyson, Jake Paul was scripted. That was a scripted fight. It was blatantly obvious. Go watch Mike train. And John Jones is an absolute problem. Problem. The scariest man on the planet.
You honestly think this kid's going to do anything to me? He's not good. He's not going to me out. He's not going to do this. And you saw him. He tripped when he was walking down the thing. He had a hard time walking up the stairs. He had a knee brace on. And Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson sounds more like a carnival sideshow than a boxing match. And Dana White saw it the exact same way. The UFC president wasn't just unimpressed, he was outright insulted. In true Dana fashion, he went scorched earth, calling the entire spectacle a total farce. And honestly, who can blame him? When a 57-year-old legend with creaky knees and a knee brace can still outclass a guy who calls himself the future of boxing, there's really not much worth applauding.
He's not going to knock me out. He's not going to do this. And you saw him. He tripped when he was walking down the thing. He had a hard time walking up the stairs. He had a knee brace on. And Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him. He made a ton of money. And I know people are mad. You stayed home on a Saturday night, but you didn't pay for it. You know what I mean? And, Mike, this is what Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson shows up, everybody makes money. Jake Paul is, I don't have to tell you guys. You guys know. Mike Tyson is the A+++ side of that thing. And he was right. Jake Paul couldn't do shit to him.
Dana White didn't hold back his disdain. He didn't just question Jake Paul's abilities. He outright dismissed them. The so-called fight wasn't a showcase of skill. It was a cringe-inducing reminder that Jake's boxing career thrives on gimmicks, not grit. Known for his blunt honesty, Dana made it clear that boxing deserves better than this overhyped train wreck. Jake Paul isn't exactly famous for taking the hard road. His strategy has always been to cherry-pick opponents who create headlines rather than offer real competition. Dana has long been one of Jake's loudest critics, but this time he pulled no punches. In his eyes, Jake isn't a boxer, he's a marketer. A talented marketer, sure, but that doesn't make him a fighter.
So you're saying that it was scripted because Tyson trained really hard, but then was like throwing the fight in the ring?
The way Tyson trained, the way he looked, the way he moved.
Training it and fighting, though. Training it and fighting. I can get on board. I don't want to use the term scripted. Here's what my takeaway was after watching the fight. And it reminded me a little bit of Mayweather-Pacquiao from a few years ago when we didn't get them.
The Mike Tyson fight was the height of Jake Paul's absurdity. Dana slammed it as proof that Jake cares more about entertainment than authenticity. Why face someone his age and weight class when he could call out a 57-year-old legend? And let's be real, Tyson wasn't exactly in peak condition. Yet, even with age and physical limitations, Tyson exposed Jake's lack of genuine skill. That wasn't a win for Jake, it was a total embarrassment.
Jake Paul saying he was banned from all UFC events and then put the costume on.
Yeah, nobody's banned from the UFC. Listen, that kid knows how to market and do his thing, and all that good shit. But yeah, no, Jake Paul's welcome to come to UFC.
Yeah, no, he's just saying that to make it seem like I wasn't banned, but definitely has sent an email to me saying I'm trespassed from all UFC events and I'm not welcome back, etc. of course, Dana doing what he does best, which is lie.
Mike Tyson may no longer be the ferocious knockout artist he was in the 80s, but even at 57, he's no pushover. His technique, despite limited mobility, was leagues ahead of Jake Paul's. Watching Tyson dominate key moments of the fight was a clear reminder that experience and skill will always outweigh social media clout. Dana White didn't miss the chance to call out how absurd this matchup was. Tyson, who probably spends more time icing his knees than training, still managed to control the fight with ease. Meanwhile, Jake struggled to land anything meaningful. If this fight was supposed to cement Jake as a legitimate boxer, it had the opposite effect. It exposed just how far he is from being a serious contender.
You see some of these crossover fights. Obviously, I know that you and Jake Paul have had your disagreements. Do you think that Jake's gotten better as a boxer?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And listen, what Jake Paul has accomplished is he's fighting old guys.
Yes.
He's fighting, all he fights are old guys and whatever. But listen, say what you want, he wins. And he makes money. So he's doing his thing, you know?
You just don't see it as a sustainable thing?
He fought Tommy Fury and lost. Where's that rematch? Where's that rematch?
I don't know where it's at. I know
he loses.
he's fighting a 57-year-old champ now. What's
58.
58. Don't want to take a year away from you, Mike.
He's fighting a guy that's almost 60 years old. And you know what I mean? I mean, that says it all. That says it all. There's nothing else that needs to be said. That's his shtick. That's his thing. He fights guys that are old, usually undersized guys, older, undersized guys.
Dana White has little patience for the degradation of combat sports, and to him, Jake Paul embodies everything wrong with modern boxing. He didn't just criticize Jake's fight with Tyson, he called it a textbook example of how to ruin a sport's credibility. In Dana's eyes, boxing has turned into a playground for influencers and entertainers, leaving true athletes on the sidelines.
Tyson was right, and I was wrong. You know, when you guys know the whole story about Shark Week, and you know, if you don't, I begged him not to do the Roy Jones fight. You're too old. I love you. I don't want to see you take any more punishment. So I set him up on Shark Week. He got paid good money, and he's like, you. So he almost flipped out the last day and was ready to kill everybody on the boat because he had to jump in with all these.
Dana White likened Jake Paul's career to a reality TV show, scripted, shallow, and designed purely to generate viral moments. It's not about skill or dedication. It's about how many people you can get to click buy on a pay-per-view. Except this time, even that wasn't an option. The fight aired on Netflix, which Dana saw as a glaring sign of failure. For someone who claims to be a major draw, Jake's choice to stream the fight on a platform best known for sitcom binges didn't exactly scream boxing royalty.
I'm about to sneak in to the Sphere. 2 years ago, I was banned from all UFC events by Dana.
Let's take a moment to address Jake Paul's delusions of grandeur. He's openly claimed he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez, one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. Dana White didn't just roll his eyes, he practically laughed him out of the room, calling it pure delusional hype. And honestly, he's not wrong.
Tyson here, and him and Tyson are going to make a shitload of money,
A bunch of money.
and good for both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Good for both of them. Like I say, Jake Paul can fight. It's not like Jake Paul can't fight.
Yeah.
Jake Paul just won't fight anybody.
Jake couldn't handle a 57-year-old Tyson with limited mobility, yet he's targeting a fight with Canelo. It's like a middle schooler challenging LeBron James to a one-on-one. Dana was blunt. Jake needs to stop chasing fantasy fights and focus on opponents in his league. But then again, that wouldn't generate the kind of headlines Jake thrives on, would it?
Canelo can fight real guys and
Yes.
keep his credibility intact and still make that kind of money. You know what I mean? Jake needs these guys. Jake needs Tyson and needs all these other people because that you know.
So where does Jake go from here? Dana's verdict was clear. This fight didn't just fail to elevate Jake's career, it exposed its fragility. The hype can only carry him so far. At some point, he'll have to prove himself against real competition, and if the Tyson fight is any indication, he's not ready for that challenge. Jake Paul has built an empire on controversy and viral moments, but as Dana pointed out, that's not enough to sustain a boxing career. The sport demands more. It demands authenticity, skill, and a willingness to face real challenges. Until Jake embraces that, He'll remain what Dana White has always seen him as, a showman, not a fighter.
Fight real guys and keep
Yes.
his credibility intact and still make that kind of money. You know what I mean? Jake needs these guys. Jake needs Tyson and needs all these other people because that
The Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight will be remembered, but not for the reasons Jake hoped. It wasn't a triumph or a milestone, it was a spectacle. A messy, embarrassing spectacle that left fans disappointed and critics like Dana White outraged. Dana's scathing assessment wasn't just a critique of Jake Paul, it was a wake-up call for boxing as a whole. The sport deserves better than this. Until Jake Paul steps up and starts treating boxing with the respect it deserves, it'll remain the face of its decline. Boxing is about more than gimmicks and cheap headlines. It's time to demand real fights, real athletes, and respect for the sport. Share your thoughts, hold influencers accountable, and support fighters who value authenticity over spectacle. Let's bring the focus back to skill, dedication, and true competition. Join the conversation and stand up for boxing's legacy.